Are you flipping the rage bait on me?
What is that existence? Responding to chuds. I love doing it.
Let's go with the dog against the dogs. Alabama.
When I had a choice to pick a co-host.
I know.
Oh, you're betting on the game. Why would you be doing that? Because it's fun. Welcome back to Geek'd Up Bets. DeLeone and Sean Anderson here to discuss a lot of news across the NFL. Lots of big player movement news that we have to get into. Kyler Murray, Trey Hendrickson, Breece Hall, Kenneth Murray. We're not even going to get to the Danny Dimes stuff. Probably going to do a video on that maybe tomorrow, or unless something else major happens. All the post-combine buzz that we typically get is already starting to bubble up. We're also going to share our favorite midweek picks for college basketball. That's coming up later on in today's show. Also going to discuss a fun tidbit from the team report cards regarding the Steelers bathrooms in the locker room. Going to be a fun conversation there. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on this video so you don't miss out on future episodes. We should not have any impacts unless Sean's going to randomly tell me that he's unavailable for a random Tuesday or Thursday coming up. We should be charging forward live every single Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So subscribe so you do not miss out. All right, Sean. Let's start off with Kyler Murray. News comes out today that Kyler is getting officially cut by the Cardinals. He releases a statement, which a little bit backhanded. He said wanted nothing more than to be the one to end the 77-year drought for this organization. I am sorry. I failed us. That was funny. I really find it hard to believe that he was not trying to take a little bit of a dig at the Cardinals. But now I ask myself, can a guy who once won Offensive Rookie of the Year, has been a two-time Pro Bowler, and since has been plagued by injuries, do we have faith that he is going to bounce back and that he can have maybe a Sam Darnold type resurrection?
Let's think back on that 2021 stretch for a minute here and try to imagine how powerful those 8 games of dominance really were. And think now we're in 2026, so far removed. So much has happened since then. And I'm not ready to quit it. I'm not ready to quit Kyler Murray. I'm ready to quit Kyler Murray in Arizona. I think it's finally hit an impasse. I think it's the right decision that all parties are saying, like, yeah, look, it's just not happening here. There are teams that he could go to where I think it would be fresh start. Kyler in a new uniform. I say, bang, let's see it. Let's see it happen. Let's get the guy mobile. Let's see the arm thrown across his body, make it a good pass. I think it's a fine decision, but it's so long ago, Joe. Like while I'm not ready to quit him, I've also expressed many times in the stretch of 2021 since the injury to this past year of, man, what's he done? When's he gotten better? Yeah. Where's the improvement been? And I've had those questions. I'll continue to have those questions. But I'm not done with him.
Part of me, and this is the stray thought that I have with Kyler, part of me really wonders what would have it been like if he chose baseball? What would it have been like if he chose to play baseball? The funniest thing about this, when he got drafted by the A's and he was a top 10 pick by the A's before his Heisman Trophy winning season in Oklahoma, he was a very legit prospect. Probably a little too late for him to go down that road. Part of the perspective was, man, he just really loves football more than baseball. Does he really love football as much as everyone's painted it to be? How focused is he really? Maybe a new setting allows for us to discover a new version of him where he is actually focused and locked in and much more prepared and back to that early version of himself when he was elusive and explosive and making a ton of big plays. But if he was going to be this distracted, seemingly, what would his baseball career been like? I feel like baseball is the sport that you can be a little bit distracted. I feel like football, being a quarterback, you just can't. You got to be able to put in the ridiculous, meticulous amount of detail into preparing for games in order to win Super Bowls, to win MVPs, to be a longtime starter, and to not be in the situation where you're getting cut at the beginning of the offseason. How much you would know better than I didn't play baseball. You were a baseball player. You had aspirations to play baseball in college. You were the Kyler Murray of Virginia because you wanted to play baseball in college and you chose the football route and played at Rhody. So do you think that capably could have been possible that he would have been better at baseball?
Here's the thing. I always found baseball as way more cerebral than football. Like
that's what I'm getting at.
With the prep and with the focus that you need in game. Like I think he chose football because it was just more physical stuff. And it was more, let me run around and throw the ball around. I don't need to focus as much. I don't need to be locked in as much. Baseball, 162 games. Football, 17 games. Baseball, you have so few players that get that super max deal where you're making, $300 million, $280 million, super money. And then the rest of the guys, it's year to year, scrapping over change. Whereas in football, if you're one of the 32 starting quarterbacks and you start for 2+ years, like Kyler Murray did, they'll pay you. You're not going to pay you supermax baseball money, but I think he saw his route in football to be easier to get to $100 million quicker than in baseball and with less in-game effort.
But I almost see that as have been a mistake.
Yes, I think
for Kyler because
yes,
his natural tools to me, I think, would have translated a lot better for him playing baseball. It's like how much pregame prep goes into. I know that there is prep. I absolutely understand and recognize that there is. They watch films still. It's not like it's just you show up and you go play a game. I think that he could get a 3DS and play that on the road. I'm obviously saying that jokingly. They got the portable Xbox apparatuses, whatever the hell those are called. Something bone. I forget what the name of those things are. All right. They have a name to them.
Yeah.
But he could buy one of those. He could play that in the airplane. I feel like if he really so desired to play video games like a toddler, the way that he looks, he could do that more easily on a baseball schedule because every single day is such a grind.
Right.
For prep for football.
Crazy thing is it's a quarterback too. It's like you were playing quarterback in college and it was going so well and maybe it was just natural and easy and you're like, man, if this is just natural and easy and
That's
I know
how it works with college quarterbacks, especially as athletic as him.
And I think he's a smart guy. He's smart if you can play multiple sports. You're like, man, I'm picking this up so easy and I got this coach that keeps on making Heisman winners. Like maybe I can just be on 80% Kyler Murray mode and be a starter in the NFL opposed to having to be on 100% Kyler Murray mode for so long in baseball. Whereas it's not as physically demanding. You're not out there. You're not going to get Aaron Donald sacking you in baseball. There's nothing that's going to be as painful or as fear-inducing as being a quarterback.
Well, if you got
looking at a cruddy Cardinals center and guard and looking at Aaron Donald there.
If you got hit right in the nuts with a fastball, I would argue that would hurt.
Yes, it would. That would hurt a lot. And it does. Let me confirm. It does hurt. But the man fear that you get from being a quarterback and an undersized quarterback at that, and you have to see these just monsters right ahead of you, and you're waiting for the snap. I'm on a 5-11 team. Oh my God, I can't see my receivers, and now they're bearing down on me. That's man fear. I don't think Kyler Murray was really ready for that man fear, but now he's been in the league long enough where I'm thinking maybe he's settled in.
I'm sure I'm going to be told that I'm misunderstanding what goes into preparing for baseball, but having been
it's scouting reports, it's all scouting reports on the pitcher and where they're going to go for you again, and your strengths and weaknesses versus that guy's strengths and weaknesses.
We were Division I football players, and the preparation that we put in is still like a quarter of the amount of preparation that goes into in the daily schedule for NFL guys.
Yeah.
It is such a small amount of that is on-field prep. Very little of that is being on field. The vast majority of it is meetings. You are spending hours upon hours of meetings, hours of time in meetings where it is breaking down film on upcoming opponents. And then when you're done with those meetings, there is an expectation, if you're someone as important as Kyler for a franchise's success, for you to be doing your own film study and staying in the facility outside of that. That doesn't really happen to me with baseball. Again, I'm sure I'm going to be told I'm not understanding something, that there's a missing layer to this. I just would have wondered if he could have been more successful. But to this degree, I don't have a lot of faith that Kyler figures it out. I want him to because I think he's one of the most unique players that we've had in the NFL, and he's incredibly explosive and elusive, but he hasn't shown us anything. Maybe he's on Diego Pavia hours with, did you see the comment that he had last week where he was like, Pavia said something along the lines of Coach Lee keeps telling us that our prefrontal cortexes develop when we hit 26 and Kyler's 28. Sometimes it hits later for other guys. Pavia's statement was along the lines of, I've got a year to go until that hits for me, until I learn how to be an adult, basically. Maybe Kyler, it clicks as someone who understands what that literally is. It's kind of funny when you hear people older than you telling you that your prefrontal cortex develop. I can't believe this is what we're talking about. And I brought this up. But no, when people say this, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? And then you start to be a lot more adult in your decision making. You're like, why did I suddenly become so much more calculated? Maybe that hits for Kyler. Maybe it will. Who knows?
But here's the thing: like, people keep on pitching, like, "Oh, Kyler to Minnesota." Like, whoa, that you'd
that
see,
doesn't make any sense.
You'd see O'Connell and what he did, and I think he took a very hungry Darnold and a very sponge-brained Darnold instead of brick-brained other quarterbacks. I'm not going to say Kyler's brick-brained, but with the studying habits,
JJ's brick-brained.
Yeah. It's looking like it.
Yeah.
So people keep on saying, like, oh, that would work so well. He's got a wide receiver one. He's got an offensive line. He's got a coach that is seemingly he's been labeled as a quarterback coach and guru. That would work. But then I don't know what Kyler Murray is like. I don't know what he is like as a student of the game or as a player, really. He's very reserved. He's very, he keeps it professional. He knows what he's doing when he's saying at the podium. But I've never seen like behind the first face. And then once sometimes you get a feel for guys, you're like, oh man, I think that guy's low down a scumbag, or I think that guy's a great guy. You just get feels for guys. I've never had a feel for Kyler Murray and what he is. I don't know if that's him being super protective or if that's just who he is. And he is just, blank face. Oh, that's what I'm doing. I'm just blank face guy. And I'm going to go out there and play football, I guess.
We'll see what happens with Kyler. I want him to work out. I really do, but not holding a lot of faith that this is going to be some sort of resurrection coming down the line. Speaking of resurrection, Breece Hall looking to continue some momentum after his best year with the Jets. He is going to get tagged. He's going to be paid $14.3 million for 2026. There is motivation on both sides for a long-term deal to get done, which is promising. This past year, he had 1,065 yards and 4 touchdowns, first 1,000-yard season. It begs the question, was this the right or the wrong move by the Jets? I come away thinking that this is the wrong move. I think paying a running back $14 million, just like drafting one early in the first round, is a luxury for teams that are ready to win. Plus, if I was Breece Hall, I'd like to be on a team that is competitive. Mm-hmm. I'd like to be on a team that is pushing to reach a Super Bowl. Breece Hall is the type of spark plug running back that is a missing trigger for a roster that is in that competitive range. Aaron Jones expected to be gone with the Vikings. He would be perfect with the Vikings. I'd love to see what he could do in that offense with the Vikings. If the Chiefs couldn't have gotten Jeremiah Love, which seems like it's going to be harder and harder for the Chiefs to get, he would be perfect with the Chiefs needing some juice at running back. I just don't love the philosophy of spending a lot of money on a position when you've got so many other problems to address. It's cart before the horse. It's one of the best cliches in football to say. I don't think that this makes sense for either side, but good on them. They've got a good offensive line. That's the one pause that I have. They've got a underrated offensive line that could be good next year.
I think they've got a good pass blocking offensive line. That's what I think. That's what the Jets have built it for. It's a scumbag move by the Jets, top to bottom, because you're depriving us of seeing Breece Hall on a team that is not the New York Jets. They're depriving Breece Hall of a year in his prime to play not for the Jets and to earn a contract somewhere else. Who, maybe he wasn't going to get a 3 years, 30 for some other team. But if he could have said, you put me on a good team, 1 for 8, and then I can go out and have a good year, prove myself, then get a deal. Yeah, that's good for me. And then the Jets aren't bogged down by 14.3. What is he going to do for the Jets this year? And what are the Jets going to do for him that equates to wins? At the end of the day, not much. But You drop him on the Commanders. You drop him on a team that is a running back away that needs a guy like that. He equates to wins. He puts 4 to 5 wins on your column just from his impact in an offense that's at firing at 70, 75% capacity. He fills in 30% of that. And then you have an actual top to bottom offense. The Jets are firing at 30% with Breece. He's 30%. It's a scumbag move by the Jets. It's selfish. It's nonsense. And it's the right move for them. It technically, you say we want to keep good players in the building. We want to have the best team that we have, that we can have with what we have right now. Fine. I understand why they made the decision. Mm-hmm. I don't like it, though. As somebody that loves football, on the grand scale, looking at the entire NFL, yeah, Breece Hall being stuck on the Jets for another year just stinks. It's not something that I look forward to watching.
The Jets are 4th in upcoming cap space, so they've got money to spend. This is another one of those moves with the Jets where I'm thinking to myself, like, what is the grand plan? What is the
8 wins?
What is the goal here? What are they trying to do this upcoming season? What is their expectation at quarterback? They're probably not taking Ty Simpson early. They don't seem like they're a team in the market to draft a quarterback unless maybe they use their second first-round pick on Ty Simpson and he's still on the board, which I find hard to believe. Is this going to be a team that takes a run at Anthony Richardson and just does a different version of Justin Fields from last year? Is this a team that goes after Kyler and there's a hope that there's something to extract from Kyler like we just talked about? I just don't know what the goal is. It feels like when you bring back Breece Hall, it is for the reason that you have something mapped out. You have some sort of a vision for this is how we get competitive. This is how we end up being good next year. I feel like they're 4 steps away from even touching that. What are their options? What the hell are their options?
Dude, their vision, they are unbelievably bad. Like since 2016, their wins go 5-5, 4-7, 2-4, 7-7, 5-3. Their point differential, last year they had their second worst point differential in that span, -203. That's their second sub 200 point differential in 10 years with a 194 in that to boot. They are a tragedy, an absolute embarrassment to the league. Goodell should have stepped in. Goodell needs to protect it. This is to protect your players' stuff. And
NFLPA. Now I think you're on. Okay, now you're out of your mind.
No. He should have said, we can't have this hurt our brand. This team in New York, this Jets team is so bad that we cannot allow them to have good players right now until they show us, until they prove to us that they can have. No. They should be given station wagons. That's what they should have until they prove that they can buy a nice car.
They are operating like a UFL team, and they have. They're one of these franchises that desperately needs a new owner, and I don't know if they'll ever get one. They have historically just been awful. Since Joe Namath, they have never been good.
Dude, last 10-win season, Ryan Fitzpatrick in 2015.
They have never been good. They've never been a good team. And this is all comes down to they make silly, goofy, weird moves like this that don't feel like they're stacking towards building a winner. That's $14 million that could go towards starters at other positions. And to be perfectly clear and to reiterate this is nothing against Breece Hall. He deserves to get $14 million on a team that's competing and ready to win. I mean, an easy example of a big contract given out in free agency to a running back, actually 2 examples, Saquon getting his with the Eagles, Josh Jacobs getting his with the Packers. Some people questioned the Josh Jacobs one when it happened, and that was a perfect move. That was a perfect contract. Yeah, he's been one of the best running backs in the NFL since he entered that situation. But he only works there because they have a well-rounded offense with a really good quarterback. The Packers understood the timing of investing in Josh Jacobs. They understood going through the steps of getting there. Why are you spending $14 million when you could have drafted someone this year with a decent running back class and spent that money on bringing back maybe Elijah Vera Tucker, which I know he's been hurt, and I don't know if they do try to bring him back. It doesn't seem like there's really been any movement there unless I'm missing something. So anything could change. Spending money on one of the premier wide receivers, spending money on key defensive pieces. I would drop $14 million and put that towards going and getting Trey Hendrickson. I like they just cleared space and moved Jermaine Johnson. I don't think that this team is operating in a frame of getting towards competitive. It's kind of just going through the motions.
I am disgusted.
Oh, we've got a good player. We have to pay him.
I'm gonna keep on scanning this Jets these teams. I'm just disgusted. The points they've had Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall be their leading receiver and rusher for the last 4 years. Because every single year, the points that they've had ranked in the NFL 29th, 29th, 24th, 29th. That's literally these guys are just going out getting cardio. It's literally these guys. They're just getting yards. They're just getting stats. It doesn't translate to anything. It never amounts to anything with the Jets. How do these people survive as Jets fans, Joe? How do you survive if you have guys like this?
It's the greatest question. Having lived here my whole life, it makes me question it so much. How do
I can't look at this page anymore? It's sickening to me to watch what they're doing to these guys.
It is a very weird franchise, and I
they don't get to draft skill players, man. There needs to be restrictions.
So what are they supposed to put a comb back there? What do you
go? Yeah, go to the UFL. Practice? You get UFL guys. That's what you get to do.
I don't even know who is the UFL.
Oh, it's just not right, man. It's not right.
Bryce Perkins. Go and get Bryce Perkins, damn it. That's who I'd go and I would
pull an Eli the second. If I was
well, Dante Moore literally did that.
He was right.
Dante Moore did that.
I wish he went in the draft, got drafted, and still pulled Eli. There needs to be a more public shaming of this team.
You know what would be the funniest thing to happen with Dante Moore? By the way, to clarify, he's not an Oregon fan. He's not an Oregon fan. This idiot wearing this hat.
I'm a Steez fan.
Sure. It'd be really funny though if Dante Moore season goes really well. He improves. He just plays really great.
Mm-hmm.
Jets have the 4th overall pick. So they move back in the order. Arch goes 1st overall. Someone else goes in between them. And essentially, the Jets move back. He moves back in the pecking order of quarterback selections and still lands in New York. That would be the most frightening future.
Never let it happen. I would say
I'm praying for Dante Moore.
I'd offer to represent Dante. Dante,
I don't think he needs your help.
We're not going to.
He doesn't need your help.
The people around you are excited about you getting $40 million.
Chud management.
All right, Chud management is going to get you on a good team. I swear to God, these people around you they're not looking out for you. Chud management is.
Kenneth Walker is set to become a free agent. Now it's unclear if, for certain, he is going to be leaving Seattle. There's a potential possibility that they could come to terms, but he is going to be an unrestricted free agent. Now, he could become the 4th reigning Super Bowl MVP in NFL history to play for a different team after winning the award. This to me is perplexing. I understand. Actually, I don't. I don't think that they're tagging anyone. $14 million for a guy that was the reason why you won the Super Bowl. Charbonnet goes down. He's got an insane playoff run. He wins the Super Bowl. Who are you replacing him with?
Get the ball to Charbonnet. Get the ball to Charbonnet.
Is that what this is? This is the metaphor for
it is.
Get the ball for Charbonnet, like get the contract to Charbonnet.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker hits free agency. We're gonna he's gonna sign somewhere, and then we're gonna get a Charbonnet extension news that's gonna come out. That's what's gonna happen here,
dude. As soon as John Schneider was all drunk at that parade, good for him. By the way, don't make you a bad person. When he was all drunk at the parade and on the microphone talking about, Kenneth just tried to negotiate a deal with me. That was weird. I said, Kenneth is not coming back. They do not want to pay this running back that just won him a Super Bowl. And that is a really tough spot to be in, because the tricky part is, if you look at the teams that have won Super Bowls, like for the last 12 years or something, the running backs have been like very low paid guys. They have been running backs that you forget about, running backs that you're like, who? That guy was the running back? They won with him? Yeah, they did. All these teams that win Super Bowls have running backs that are on the cheap. And I think Seattle, if they're trying to replicate, want that running back that's on the cheap. Additionally, Kenneth Walker, great. Like he shouldered that Super Bowl. He shouldered their load in the backfield and was able to get them there and put 100% max effort in. We all saw that. Are you going to give Kenneth Walker a 5-year deal, a 4-year deal? Something that he's trying to bank off of with all his momentum, and he's not going to waver, which he shouldn't. That I just won a Super Bowl for you guys. This is my position. And as running back friendly as I am, as how much I love him, I'm not paying Kenneth Walker a ton of money. I'm maybe not doing that. And I feel nasty saying that, Joe. I feel gross saying that.
It's not even just the degree that he earned it by proving himself, but I would argue it's most likely he gets like a 3-year deal. And it's kind of what we've seen for a lot of these running backs, because by the time you hit 30, you're kind of scrap metal at that point.
Cooked it up.
Yeah, you're just on to the end of the final track of your career. There's very few guys that you're not everyone's Derrick Henry. I would think that there would be a hope that over the next 3 years, if you gave him a highly paid 3-year deal, that he could be a key piece for your offensive success. Maybe they have a vision for somebody in the upcoming draft or multiple guys in the upcoming draft that they want. I'd find it ironic if they went and spent money on a free agent running back. I just think that seeing when Charbonnet went down, the lack of depth that you had and impact that you had was quite concerning.
You had Ariel Hawani back there as George Hawani.
Jones.
No.
That's a big mix-up. I was trying to remember who that was. The MMA media personality. I'm like, I didn't know he was in the Seahawks backfield. I digress. The funny thing about this, I don't understand. A lot of the teams that have been tied to Kenneth Walker, I don't really understand. Like the Giants have been tied to him.
Sure. You guys are real dumb.
That would be the most Giants thing to do. Go pay a running back that you don't really need. They've already got 2 guys. They're literally combining Cam Scatterbo and Tyrone Tracy into one player, and then they've got 3.
Yeah,
they've
that's
got
good stuff.
The stupidest thing on the planet. I don't know. I think that they should bring him back. I think when you've got a guy who is such a positive representation of your team's success, you should want to retain him.
Oh, I think that's definitely the popular opinion on it is that, and I would say if I'm doing a popular poll of everybody, they're saying, yeah, how do you not get that guy back? How do you not re-sign him? Well, you're probably not going to re-sign him for $8 million a year. He's probably looking for $13, $14, $15 million, which is reasonable. And this is a really tough NFL decision to have to make. Like, this is a big boy decision that the Seahawks are going to have to make with Kenneth Walker, where it's man, you did everything right. You did everything right, buddy. And your value has now exceeded what we can give you because you did everything right. You should have fumbled a couple times. You should have put the ball on the ground. You should have given us a reason to not, where we're giving you 10, but you can't take 10 because you did everything right. It's a nasty, nasty side effect here. Kenneth Walker, oh my God, what do you do if you're 25. Him, by the way? I know. What do you do if you're him? Do you go slug it out on a terrible franchise for $16 million?
Well, as we know, as this always operates, the big name running backs always get paid by bad teams, and they kind of like, holy crap, the Titans running back who's with Tony Pollard is like Exhibit A of this. Like he goes to Tennessee and then he just kind of lists into nothingness. Yeah, just to put in perspective, though, now that Breece Hall is getting tagged, he's getting 14. Derrick Henry's making 15. He's the 3rd highest paid running back. Christian McCaffrey's making 19. Saquon Barkley's making 20.6. Jonathan Taylor's getting 14. You're telling me you can't pay this man $14 million? Give him a 3-year deal? You're telling me you can't do that? Is that so hard?
God, it shouldn't be. You got Darnold on the cheap. You got your Super Bowl winning quarterback on the cheap. Maybe keep the offense together. Like, I'm rooting for it, honestly. I know I'm saying I wouldn't do it, and that's from like just the front office perspective, but I want to see it happen. I think Kenneth Walker's awesome in Seattle. I think he's a great player for them and contributes to a lot of wins. So I'd love to see him stay, but I understand why the Seahawks have not pushed him the big money. It's just a really, really nasty decision to have to make.
Trey Hendrickson, finally free from the shackles of the Cincinnati Bengals. We have covered this story for so long, and I felt that this is the fitting end to this saga. Reported today that he is set to become a free agent. the Bengals will not tag him and do that stupid dance once again. He gets to actually test the market at 32 years old. Now, it's a little frightening him entering free agency because 32 is an age where a lot of guys fall off of a cliff. What kind of a contract is he going to get? Is he going to be able to get a multi-year deal and get paid upwards of $20-30 million? Or is this whole process, is it too far gone? I do wonder, what is the best landing spot for him? We've discussed this a couple of times. There's 3 options to me that I see fit as the best ones. Colts reuniting with Lou Anarumo, who was the defensive coordinator with the Bengals. One of his most productive seasons, actually 2 of his most productive seasons were when Anarumo was there. Go to the Bears, where Dennis Allen is the DC, and he was with him in New Orleans. Or, apparently, according to Matt's Live's Mark Daniels, they reported that there are quite a few admirers of him with the New England Patriots. All 3 of those options seem quite compelling. Colts seem hard to believe with all the money that they are about to spend on Daniel Jones and on Alec Pierce. Bears situation seems to be the most logical, especially considering the positioning that they're in, that they'd want a veteran.
Yeah.
They can jump right in, and they don't really need more than a couple of years out of him.
Yeah, I like the Bears option. I like the Patriots option. When I was thinking about where he would go, I looked at the team sacks from the past season and what good teams had low sack numbers. Well, lo and behold, Joe, you know who had the lowest amount of sacks last year?
Who?
San Francisco 49ers.
Well, I mean,
They
that
had
was heavily injury related because you got Bosa coming back, you got Michael Williams coming back. You would think that they would be much better, but he does feel like a 49er. He does feel like someone who'd be a 49er.
Does he feel like a Baltimore Raven who had the third least amount of sacks last year with 30? I'm not throwing him into the Jets, by the way. I'm not.
That would be kind of interesting and quite. Is he a scheme fit though? They're a 3-4 team typically, but that would be, if I was Trey Hendrickson, that would be compelling to jump right in there to piss off your former team to get to face them twice.
The Patriots that you mentioned, they had a surprisingly low amount of sacks. They were in the bottom 10 there.
They didn't have a premier pass rusher.
Mm-hmm.
Their best pass rusher was K'Lavon Chaisson, and we don't even know if he's coming back. He's supposed to be a free agent, from my understanding.
Now, I think, and he's going to be getting or asking for big money also. Some reports where K'Lavon Chaisson is going to get a good contract. Bengals rival over the last couple of years, Kansas City Chiefs had low sacks last year with only 35.
Their cap
That's
situation,
nitty, man.
But their cap situation's quite messy.
The last one,
they're still in the red.
Last one I'm going to throw you here. Do you remember where Trey Hendrickson disappeared to? When
Florida. He's from Florida.
You know what team had a shockingly low amount of sacks? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
32 sacks last year.
I think that I'm pulling up the cap space.
He's going down to Florida, man.
Jaguars are $16 million in the red. Of the teams that you just pitched, the Patriots have $39 million to spend, so they're the most likely. Ravens have $18 million to spend, but obviously could end up moving some things around. I guess we don't really know what
the Patriots
Jesse Minter wants to run.
Yeah. I think the Patriots are going to have to decide if they want A.J. Brown or a better defense, and that's where their money is going to go to. And if it's better defense, then go ahead, Trey. Go ahead, make some money.
I think that the Patriots are probably the most logical. I find it hard to believe.
I hate that they have so much money this year.
I know that is.
Oh, they're going to load
it's a pretty big chunk. I don't know what upcoming free agents that they have. Anyone who's supposed to be departing off the top of my head. To me, if I'm Trey Hendrickson, I'm going to New England. That is a franchise that is going to covet his services. That is the type of missing piece for a team that is charging towards winning a Super Bowl. Like, that is the guy that you plug in. Veteran, has produced at a high level, doesn't need to do 17 and a half sacks like he did 2 years ago, just needs to come in and give us 10, play as much of the season as possible, elevate the guys around him, potentially spend your first round pick on a draft, on a pass rusher if it's not on Denzel Boston, spend their pick on a pass rusher, and then you've got the young guy in the wings learning from Trey Hendrickson. It feels like the type of a Vrabel fit. All right, by the way, so when I was at the NFL Combine, I was walking at high velocity, which is one of the already getting sidetracked here.
The steak joints?
No. It's one of the bars that people go out to. It's attached to the JW Marriott Hotel where like there's the nice hotel bar where all the important people or the people that want to look important go. And then all the chuds, all of us chuds go stand in high velocity.
Aren't you someone that wants to look important there?
What do you mean?
Why? How come you're going to the Chud Bar and not with
the Chud Bar is more fun? We did the
okay.
name game for an hour with these two guys that have this Canadian football company and this other guy who's actually in Cranford, New Jersey. It was a good time. Ryan Roberts and James Foster were geeking up over that. I told them the game and they were like, "Oh my god, we got to play this!" And played it for an hour. But one of the days I was walking there, I peer over really big intersection that is separating like the road that we would walk down to cross the street, and coming from the opposite direction again, big intersection. As we're coming up on it, I see a gigantic hulking man who was like childishly, I don't want to assert that he was drunk, but like a childishly kind of like goofily, like a teenager, like crossing the street. I look over and it's Vrabel.
It was a silly gate.
It was a very silly gate. And I'm like, I look over and then like I kept looking ahead, and then I look back over and I'm like, and I made eye contact with him. I'm like, he knows that he looks like
that's awesome.
Like a 15-year-old right now. Which like that's kind of why the combine is so fun, is because you show up there and everybody is just happy to be talking about football and to be around football. That was how I perceived it. It didn't seem like drunk and out of control. I'm sure that they had drinks at dinner or not. It seemed like I'm having a blast. This is spring break for all the guys that are here.
Oh, see, that's nice. Maybe the comedy. God,
you need to come.
So much.
We told you to come.
I would have been in the. How it shook out, anyways. I would have been in the hotel.
No, you could have got everyone sick. I think everyone
liked me. Gosh, the combine's having a tough day.
Hi, nice to meet you.
We've got 3 participants with the DBs. They've all gone down with a nasty case of strep virus, and they're all sick, and nobody competes today. Tank the combine. Yeah, they're all looking for patient 0. Patient
who's spreading the chud virus. All right, let's close out here. Came out last week during the combine that the Steelers have one of the worst locker rooms in the NFL. The yearly franchise grades came out where there were evaluations for certain aspects of these teams and what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. It's always, no one cares who gets the A's. Everybody cares like where are the F's. Mm-hmm. Usually it's not in something that's super concerning, and there's always something funny that you discover. Steelers got an F for their locker room, and the reasoning for it was because reportedly it only has 5 bathroom stalls for the entire team. Now, as 2 former football players, I was explaining this to some people. The NFL Combine is supposed to be a setting where like information is passed. There's plenty of people who are passing information. I was at the bar talking to people about the pooping mechanics for football players. So it was like, I don't think you guys understand how serious of an issue this is.
You were passing information about passing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So when practice, like you got like that 30-minute, 45-minute window before practice starts. You get out of meetings, like everybody's like starting to like, okay, everybody got to get ready.
Some position groups.
We would have plenty of time to poop. The specialists would, but there are waves of dudes who are going into the bathrooms in order to unload before unloading on the field. It is most locker rooms have a ton of stalls. So a lot going on, but there's plenty of room. I can't even imagine the line that builds up. There must be bathrooms outside of the locker room that guys are going and using. I can't even imagine the line that builds up. And also, whoever is the last person to use those bathrooms before going out to practice, just pray for that guy. I would hold it. I would absolutely hold it. I don't mean to gross you out.
Dude, started working me down there. You started working me down. This is what I've been doing.
This is like out of anything. You could have wooden lockers, no ping pong table, no couches, nothing.
Yeah.
Just a dingy locker room with nothing. But you've got 100 stalls. That's the best locker room in the NFL.
You need a dozen. You need a dozen stalls.
I think you need more than that.
How are you operating as an NFL franchise with 5 bathroom stalls? Oh, yeah.
We had at least 15 at Rhode Island.
I think we had 10. 10 was enough. 10, there could have been more than 10, honestly. I could have used a whole wall of stalls. It's honest to God. These are grown men. These are grown men that need to have more than 5 stalls to go in there and remedy themselves. And also, this really bummed me out because I put the Pittsburgh Steelers on a pedestal. I romanticize the Pittsburgh Steelers, the history, the lore, the tradition, the uniforms, the coaches, everything about Pittsburgh Steelers football, I romanticize. You tell me this is how they're running it? I'm disgusted. I am ashamed. The Rooney family should be grossed out. They should be disgusted with themselves that all of the greats that they've had. 5 stalls? You can't have.
There's got to be something that we're missing here. There's no way that they think that this is right.
5 stalls, bad ventilation. I think Atlanta got dinged on bad ventilation also in the bathrooms. Like, fix it. I'm so blown away at the some of the architects of new college football amenities and all the nutrition factories in the NFL and all this and that.
Yeah,
and we're doing this and we're building it. Where's the money going if it's not to immediate bathrooms?
This is my whole point.
There's no players in the you need. I swear to God, man, there's a job for me in the NFL. There is a job for me in the NFL. A bathroom creator or common sense idea giver, where it's like I walk around, I see 5 stalls.
Quality control.
I say quality control. Give me a quality control job. I say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Rooney, that's not right. This is something that we need to address. All right. I hate to tell you that we need to do this, but we need to have 10 stalls.
I'm laughing at me saying quality control because Rhode Island's quality control guy was Donnie. We had Donnie. Every team's got a Donnie.
He was great, though.
This is another thing that we discussed, by the way, in Indy, because we were talking about how one of Rob Sala's family members was hired as a quality control coach, and it's kind of been like a sticking point, apparently, with the media and whatnot. And I was talking about how, quality control is it's a fake job. It is. Every team's got a Donnie. Everybody's got, and we love Donnie. I love Donnie. We had Donnie's probably not listening to this, but Donnie knows that we all loved him. But everyone's got one where they're kind of just floating. And to a degree, that is the most Donnie thing possible, to mid-season go to ownership and be like, why are there only 5 bathrooms in here? And then ownership's going to be like, why are you in my office? Who let you up here? How did you get in here? What is your name? Where's security?
But would that not be vitally important?
No, it is. This is my point. But this is the most, I don't think people understand. Toilets are the most important thing for a football player. Literally the most important thing. Nothing more, but you could have no athletic training staff. Yeah. You could have one football at practice. If you had enough toilets, that is more important. If you had a tight budget, but only the amount of times that we travel to away games, and it mentally just cracks.
It crushes you.
It crushes you when you show up and there's 2 toilets and there's no doors on the stalls. Do you understand how debilitating? It is a curse if you didn't poop before getting on the bus from the hotel because you knew you were cooked. 9 times out of 10, you were walking into it. This is the type of stuff that you do to your opponents, giving them 5 stalls.
It messes with your inner peace. It messes with everything that you have to do with the day. If you can't get 3 to 7 minutes alone in a stall where it doesn't feel like a war zone. Honestly, I just need 3 to 7 minutes where I can just collect, deposit, and then go and do my job. That's all it needs to be. And if I can't get that, I'm on edge all day. I'm edgy all day. I'm uncomfortable all day. Because when can I get that comfort? When am I getting that relief?
Yeah,
never.
Especially if you're at work. This is work for these guys.
Oh.
I used to, when we were at Rhodey, I didn't use the bathrooms in the locker room. Yeah. I would go up to the president's. So we were connected to, our locker room was in the same. It was all a part of the Ryan Center, which was the basketball arena. I used to go up to the president's suite because no one locked it. There was a way for me to kind of hop over, and I would go use the bathroom in there. I think somebody else figured out I was doing that because a couple guys started doing it, and then they started locking the door, which was really, really upsetting.
I started working second floor for sure. Also,
I was going into the suites.
Oh, I know.
The second floor was old news. That was old news.
Oh, but I had it alone. I was by myself. I was on an island. It was just a miracle.
I tell you what, though, there were some real shitters at the NFL Combine. I texted you about this. So there was the the whole media area, the Radio Row area, and then there was the media workroom. And the convention center is really big, so there's like a bunch of kind of spread out bathrooms. I had to start going to some other bathrooms because I used the the Radio Row one, and I mean the action that was happening in there was active. It was active.
I mean, it's just a bunch of tense writers that are just hungover. They're filled with red meat and steak, and just crushing coffee and energy drinks in the morning. Yeah, disgusting.
Absolutely.
They're all disgusting, man.
Absolutely. And I still contend that it is one of the greatest networking opportunities for. I might have pooped next to like John Schneider, and I have no idea. I might have done that. I have absolutely. It's quite possible. It's quite possible. I could have been right next to Rich Eisen, and I have no idea.
I pissed right next to Cam Hayward at the Super Bowl.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
It was, I mean, if somebody saw that back-to-back in the stalls where, I mean, his back was probably touching both of the guards, and I was just, my fatness was spilling over onto him. So I was kind of happy.
You should have given him a kick set after that.
Oh, yeah, I should have done it while I was pissing. Like, hey, watch the control here.
I still think that you need to do that next year at Radio Row. I think you need to line up on some of these pass rushers and get a good kick set in, see if any of them react.
Dude, it was so small and tight in there that if I was doing that, I'd be stumbling over people, I'd be crushing people.
You got to do it on Friday. When it kind of clears out a little bit, and see if you can hawk down any.
Friday, I was too busy having my heart broken by the Tony Gonzalez handlers because I wanted to ask him a really polite question about dual sports, and they were like, "No, we can't. We're not going to do that with you." I said, "Oh. Gotcha. Well, I'm not going to beg Tony G because I love that man, and I'm not going to get turned down by him."
You should have just shouted at him from a distance. All right, let's move on to our college basketball bets for Wednesday and Thursday. No Tuesday lines. These are only Wednesday and Thursday picks. Update on the standings. I'm currently sitting at 6-4 after I went 2-0. Sean went 1-1. He is 4-6. My first bet that I'm taking tomorrow, Sean, I'm going to go with Arkansas minus 7.5 against Texas. 6-4 in their last 10 against the spread. They're 9-10 overall. Texas is 5-5 against the spread. On the other hand, I also think that Arkansas quietly has been one of the hotter teams in the SEC. The SEC's had a quiet season, but they've picked up steam down the stretch. I think that Calipari is the type of coach, as we've seen year over year. Even when his teams aren't playing at peak performance, they always get hot in March. So give me Arkansas needing to add another nice resume building win in order for them to secure a big seed, for them to get the W, and a strong, confident W to win by over a touchdown over the Longhorns.
Good pick, Joe. I hope it loses, but good pick.
Oh, thanks.
My first selection here, Purdue given 9.5 versus Northwestern. Love doing research on this game.
Look at the coldest team in the country.
Both teams are so mid when it comes to against the spread. Purdue is an away favorite, is so mid. Their overall ATS records.
Why are you picking them?
Because Purdue has the bodies is the problem. And I'm always going to favor teams that have the bodies, that have the size.
Terrible logic.
Northwestern didn't have one lean.
One of the coldest teams in the country right now.
They didn't have one lean that made me want to take them. I swear to God, I was looking for one thing for Northwestern. I said, let me do it. Oh, what are they against ranked opponents? 2-4? Damn, that stinks. You're awful, Northwestern. You're terrible. Now I have to take Purdue 9.5. I don't love it, but I took it.
I could not emphasize how much I absolutely, and I say this like with emphatically, how much I absolutely hate this pick.
I gotcha.
I just want to pull up their last.
I can't wait for you to pitch your next one.
Oh, I've got great logic for my next one. And I find it hard to believe that you will have a counter argument. They have struggled to cover. They're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They've got 1, 2, 3. They're 3 in their last 1 and 3 in their last 4 games. So they're also getting their teeth kicked in by everybody that they're playing. A lot of folks in basketball media have talked about how this Purdue team is completely falling off.
They're ready to write them off. I know.
Maybe you can't buy low against the bad team. I'm
trying to.
I don't understand the logic on this one. My next pick that I'm going to go with Detroit Mercy -4 against Milwaukee. Detroit Mercy covering wagon at the moment. Don't doubt the covering wagons, Sean. 7-3 against the spread in the last 10. 17, 9-1 overall. Milwaukee is just 5-5 ATS at the current moment. Detroit Mercy, give it to me.
Did Detroit Mercy go in the March Madness a year ago or something like that, a couple years ago, and they had a win or something?
I don't care.
Okay. No, I think they had that player. I think Detroit Mercy had the player that was supposed to beat like Pistol Pete's all-time scoring, and they didn't want to count it or something. Yeah. There's something with Detroit Mercy. Regardless, fine. Okay, Detroit Mercy pick. My final pick
major picks keep hitting, so don't question it.
I took Stephen F. Austin last night, made some money on him. So
you're welcome. Finally. Nice. Yeah, nice job grabbing them late.
Don't matter if they're late, they keep on covering. My last pick here, Miami, Florida. They have to make that qualification now because of some other.
I took Miami of Ohio tonight, by the way, against Toledo.
They'll probably do pretty well. Miami, Florida, getting 1.5 points versus SMU. Miami, a respectably mid 15-21-1 against the spread, but 4-1 on the year against the spread as an away underdog. They're playing at SMU. I don't worry about them. I like this Miami Hurricanes team. I've been watching them, Joe. Been watching Miami.
Why?
Because they were on. And I think that they've played some decent
ball.
Who
were they playing that you watched that game?
Florida State they were playing.
Why were you watching Miami, Florida? When was
it? Was on at the Horseshoe Bar, and I was watching it at the Horseshoe Bar.
Was this yesterday?
No. I am not drinking yet because of all the penicillin that is ravaging my body. I am not. I am booze-free, sober as could be. Do I see many different people? Do I see many more lucid? Probably not.
You seem a bit more angry.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
A little more stressed out.
Yep. Come on, Hurricanes. You make that. If I make those noises, I believe you.
Yucky. All right, that's going to be it from us. Folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well so you don't miss out on future episodes. We're going to be back at 6 p.m. on Thursday. Enjoy the rest of your week.